So recent big news in the Amazon space, Kiehl's and Clinique, big beauty brands, are no longer going to be allowed to be sold on Amazon from third-party sellers. And I made a couple Instagram videos about this, some reels, and I wanted to make a long form because I think this is a really important topic. I'm going to talk on the mentality and my thoughts on this. I have three things I specifically want to shed some light on. And I think it's always a good opportunity to just kind of talk about mindset. So let's start off with the three things. The first thing is that something I've learned, and I've been selling for 4 years now. I am very bullish on becoming experts in a handful of brands, for instance, rather than just being okay at a dozen. And what I've learned from my experience is that when you're locked in and you're an expert, you know when to buy at the right time. You know which items are on their way out of stock. You know which variation is in high demand, or how well a no sales rank item is selling. And the list goes on. You just know the right time to buy. You know, you're just so locked in, right? An expert is naturally way more informed than someone who's just buying it when a good sale is going on, right? And I am bullish on that. And I think it's important to understand you can't just be an expert overnight, but you start really wide. And then once you get a taste of some success and you see trends or repeated brands, then you put a lot of a focus there while still, building other brands and learning more and more. And just with time, it boils down and you become an expert. And like I said, for me, I probably have like 5 brands that I'm very in tune with, okay? Now, that being said, I strongly advise becoming an expert because it gives you such a competitive advantage over your competition, right? Again, like I said, the person that's just buying it when a sale comes on or when it's on a leads list doesn't know I can always use this coupon here, or this site actually has a better sale every quarter. I'm going to wait it out then. I know how well or how poorly this sells. I know when this item goes on sale at this site, it always tanks because that's a popular site. And I can go on and on. I'm bullish on becoming an expert. But no matter if you do that early, middle, later on in your journey, I strongly advise to always leave room, always have a portion of your sourcing going to finding new brands, new sites, new categories, because as this proves, any of them could be gone tomorrow, okay? So on one end, it's worth putting in the time and effort because you gain such a competitive advantage. But I would also say always be funneling in new ideas, new brands, new sites, whether that's sharing leads, going to a leads list, just experimenting, storefront stocking, whatever it is. Don't ever get so complacent, because if this were to happen, then you'd have to start from ground zero, as opposed to always having an influx of other brands that hopefully then you become an expert in, right? So tip 1, become an expert, but always make sure that you're testing new things, new brands, new sites. Number 2, swift reminder, this is Amazon's arena. It's their stadium, it's their sandbox. They call the shots and ultimately have ultimate control over the platform, okay? I don't care about Amazon's fees. I don't care any of the imperfections with Amazon. And for anybody that does, you're not going to be successful with this, or it's just not right for you, in my humble opinion. I have a business outside of this. I've always had side hustles. To put in perspective, to have a $1 trillion brand and all of their employees that you have access to and fulfillment, like, it's unheard of. And you can start for $500 tomorrow. The barrier to entry is so small. This is an incredible opportunity, and I am going to ride it until the wheels fall off, okay? But it's a swift reminder that it's still their arena. And how I interpret that and I plan is not get scared, is not complain. It's, okay, that's what it is. That's what I signed up for, but I know this is a great opportunity. But instead of just reinvesting forever, I know that I am going to finally regularly take out a proper amount of my earnings and park them elsewhere. Like for me, I'm really gung-ho on trying to buy rental properties, right? And for other people, might be starting other businesses or whatever the case may be. Even though this is a business, it's also kind of a job. And now we know, or we've always known, but this is just another reminder, it's Amazon's game. So I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off, but I am finally at a point, I'm not going to scale forever. I think it's very common when we're early, we're like, there's so much out there, I just wanna take my money and reinvest it. I'm at a point that if I wanted to, I could continue to do that, but I'm not going to. I am consciously going to limit my spending, increase the quality of my buys, pull out money appropriately. Granted, I'm 4 years in now, I've hardly been doing this, and now park it elsewhere. And I would strongly advise others to have a game plan, whether you use profit first, whether you pay yourself a little, you know, take it and diversify it, however you see fit. That's at least my strategy. And the last thing I want to say is more encouragement that if Kiehl's was your biggest brand or Clinique was your biggest brand and you were really genuinely crushing it with those brands, I'm not saying just doing okay, well then you have the skill set to apply that to the tens of other thousands of brands on Amazon that you're allowed to sell. It might take you a little bit of time, but once you understand sourcing, you can really apply that to other brands as well. So don't feel like if you lose a brand that you're an expert in, you necessarily go back to zero. You might have to find other brands to replace that, and that might take some time to make you whole, but the skill set you have will always be there. And so that can't be taken away from you. And those are the three things that I just really top of mind that I wanted to talk about. And I just wanted to chime in two other things. It's that something I've definitely learned is that scaling is used in a way that should not be used. Scaling and growing a healthy business are not synonymous. The more money you reinvest on low ROI items, you're just putting more and more risk and liability into Amazon. And again, as I just talked about, I want to put in as little money, get as high of return as possible, and then put it elsewhere, right? Diversification. I know we're all at different stages, but my point is like, maybe this is a time to wake up and say, hey, just reinvesting everything in Amazon is probably not the only way to do things, right? And then the other thing, I alluded to this earlier, I treat Amazon like a business, but I also see it as a job. I see it basically as a way better job than a W-2 job that I could do on my time, my schedule, and that has compounding effect. But that just like a job, I try to live below my means, save, and that excess I'm going to park into other things, as I've mentioned a couple of times now. I'm not saying you should be like me or do what I do. I just want to share with you, that's my mentality on how I view it. In summary, it's a great opportunity. It's still their game. We're players in it. If we go away tomorrow, they don't feel a thing, right? But for us, it could be a substantial blow. Get good at sourcing, become an expert, always be finding new products, diversify, and you don't always have to reinvest everything into Amazon. So that's just what I wanted to share. I'm not concerned. This is not fear-mongering. Par for the course, right? Go out there and find some other brands, and they're out there, all right? Always get better at sourcing. That's the name of the game. I'm Jonathan. Duke does Amazon. Thanks for being here. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.